Isn't that crazy?
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We'll tell you what's crazy. So much that fits that description these days. We'll tell you later, though.
Yes.
So James O'Keefe, he of Project Veritas, a guerrilla investigative reporter, released a couple of videos last week that resulted in a separation from the operation of Hillary Clinton and the DNC and associated allies of Scott Foval, who was working for one of these C4 organizations supporting Hillary, and convicted felon husband of
Say it.
Calamity Jan Schakowsky.
Trademark Dan Proft.
Thank you very much. Bob Creamer. And the first video focused on how they purposely attempted to incite violence at Trump rallies. The second video focused on how they purposely suborned voter fraud. And then the third video that was released, all the days run together, was it Monday or yesterday? Monday. Because we talked about it yesterday. Focused on allegations of illegal coordination. And it also gave you a grand insight into just how trivial the lives of these people really are. You have so many people associated with the Hillary campaign, by extension, being financed by the Hillary campaign through the DNC, through these other appendages, that are obsessing about whether or not to have some adult dude dress up as Uncle Sam and follow Trump around. I want you to release your tax returns, or to have Donald Duck follow Donald around. Donald is ducking, releasing his tax returns. And Hillary Clinton apparently settled the debate, according to Bob Creamer, in the latest O'Keefe video.
In the end, it was the candidate, Hillary Clinton, the future president of the United States, who wanted ducks on the ground. So by God, we will give ducks on the ground.
So it's, wow.
If the future president of the United States wants ducks on the ground, by God, she will have ducks on the ground, says Bob Creamer. Those are the kind of executive decisions you can look forward to.
All that pressure on the job must have been hard to sleep at night.
For more on this, we're joined by the aforesaid James O'Keefe, founder of Project Veritas, author of Breakthrough, Our Guerrilla War to Expose Fraud and Save Democracy. James, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you, and great to talk about this in Chicago, where Bob Creamer is from. And
we know.
And that's awesome.
And now he's spending more time with his family.
He's just one of a pantheon of Chicago Pauls who are convicted felons. So let's talk a little bit about Creamer and Foval. We've talked to you before, upon the release of the first video, and then what's happened to those two as they've got some more free time on their hands now because of the exposure there. And those videos got leveled up. They were mentioned by Donald Trump in the presidential debate. So, I mean, this is serious business, and it's being seized upon. This last one, though, that was released this week, there seems to be, at best, divided opinion about whether there is evidence of illegal coordination that you've obtained, whether anything that was done really rises to the level of a violation of federal election campaign law. And I want to give you the opportunity to make the case that it does.
Well, our attorney says that it does. I mean, the last video, first of all, it shows two different things. It shows that Hillary Clinton was personally involved, which is one massive story, because the campaign and the debates, if you watch the presidential debate, the videos were brought up, and she did not deny that there was violence induced. She was also asked on an airplane last week, do you know about this? And she ran away. I mean, Hillary Clinton literally ran away.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Well, she was asked after the debate about it, and she just kind of dismissed it as a conspiracy theory.
She just sort of dismissed it as a conspiracy theory, but she didn't really address it. And the last video really shows that she was personally involved. Bob Creamer, I know you guys know this, but Bob Creamer is very close to Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. I mean, he was a friend of Obama. He was a community organizer in Chicago. He's been to the White House 340 times. He's met with Obama 47 times. He's been to the White House once a week. He's on White House conference calls. In fact, our undercover reporter was invited to the White House. You'll more on that soon. So as it relates to the FEC illegal coordination, there's a couple prongs you have to pay in itself. Hillary and Hillary for America doing these weird sort of agitprop protests saying, oh, we need these ducks. We need to go around and troll Donald Trump personally. So I think it's a pretty straightforward case because you have a nonprofit organization working directly with a presidential campaign. And so an FEC complaint has been filed, and we put them, and I sent out an email to 100,000 people asking them to call the FEC.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that's adjudicated because, I mean, it's a nonprofit, but it's a C4, so C4s are allowed to do some partisan political work. It can't be majority, but they are allowed. I mean, they're allowed to make political donations if they want. So it's not a super PAC, so there's not the same kind of coordination issue. And a lot of what I've read and understanding FEC law is when they talk about coordination or legal coordination where you're allowed to do political work otherwise, they're really focusing on media, like, I'm going to do this ad at this time and I wanted you to know, that sort of thing.
Right. Well, the other thing that's developed is Brad Woodhouse, the president of this nonprofit organization, fired Scott Fogle. Scott Fogle worked for him.
Right.
He was on Fox and Friends yesterday being pressed by Ducey, and Ducey says, "Did you coordinate?" And he goes, "Of course I coordinated." So he's an angry guy on TV, just sort of admitting the thing that we're alleging that he did. But even a C4, like I'm a C4, I'm Project Veritas is both a C3 and a C4. I can't make an in-kind contribution to a presidential campaign. That would be an independent expenditure. I can't do that. I can't endorse Donald Trump for president. I can't run ads for Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. Right.
Right.
So he, by working directly with the campaign and spending money to coordinate, our attorney says is illegal. And more than that, the video shows that Bob Creamer was very close with Hillary. All these people say it's Hillary's idea. Hillary has not denied that. If we had a press that had any sense of justice, we had journalists who pursued the truth, they'd be airing these tapes and constantly asking Hillary Clinton because it's on video. Unlike the WikiLeaks thing and unlike the Benghazi thing and all these things, this thing's on video. These people are on videotape, and they've been fired by the DNC. That's a lot more than everything else that's happened as it relates to Hillary Clinton.
All right, so who do you think should be charged with what?
Well, the FEC, after Watergate, they passed the Illegal Campaign Coordination Act. So the complaint is filed against Hillary for America. That's the campaign. Donna Brazile was involved in this, the DNC. Brad Woodhouse is the president of the non-for-profit organization. And today, we have Part 4 coming out. I'm literally about to walk into the production room and finish the on-camera portion. We have a Part 4 coming out showing foreign money being potentially used to fund some of this stuff. And we're going to be releasing Part 4 installment in a few hours. But
Part 4 comes out today.
Yeah, it comes out in 3 hours from now.
Okay. And so you also mentioned, kind of in passing, but I'd like to develop this a little bit, that one of your undercover reporters actually got access to the White House. Is that what you said? They were in some of these meetings?
Well, we couldn't go into the White House because we had an intern working in Bob Creamer's office, working for Bob Creamer. In fact, we had a donor make a contribution to Brad Woodhouse's organization, and then Bob Woodhouse and Creamer were like best buds. They're close operatives, and then our donor had a niece. The niece worked for me, and we started working for in Bob Creamer's office. And then Bob Creamer said, "Why don't you come to the White House with me? Because we go every week." Is what he says in the video. And our niece can't go to the White House because she's using an alias, and
right.
can't get into the White House with a fake Social Security number. I'd be committing a felony.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
But this whole notion that Creamer's a big important guy. I mean, this guy's friends with Obama. He's close to Clinton. There's a big, significant series of events here for him to be dismissed. I mean, he's the beating heart of the institutional left.
Well, there's no question. Not to mention his relationship. I mean, being a husband of Jane Schakowsky,
career politician,
right? And I mean, and being a convicted felon too for bank fraud and income tax related charges. I mean, this is all serious stuff. If there was an operative like this on the Republican side, there'd be a hue and cry about activity and relationships.
Well, Josh Earnest was asked about that last week at the White House press conference. One of the reporters said, why, first of all, the videos, and Josh was like, don't pay attention to those videos. Pay no attention to what you see in the video. Mm-hmm. Literally, that's kind of what he said. He said, I would take extreme caution at even thinking about what's in the videos.
So,
and then the reporter said, well, sir, he's a convicted felon regardless of the videos. Why is a convicted felon of bank fraud going to meet with Obama, 47 times? And Earnest pivoted back to the videos. So we live in a strange time where journalists not only deny facts but suppress information. And one of the other stories here from all these videos, there's just so much here. Some have said it makes Watergate look like petty shoplifting. But one of the stories here is that the media, spiked this story. We've had 3 videos. I went to television outlets. Some of them would be perceived to be sort of friendly to my cause, not Fox, but even others. And they spiked the story at the last minute out of fear, because they told me, and they didn't say this publicly, a fear of retaliation from a future Clinton Department of Justice. They feared that they had the FCC licenses revoked from a future Hillary Clinton sort of government. And to me, that is just so shocking that we live in an era where we live in a banana republic, frankly, where media is afraid to do their jobs for fear of political prosecution. So I had to break these stories on the internet, and they had to become a sort of phenomenon. And even then, the press is not willing to sort of pursue truth and ask Hillary the tough question.
Hey, James, has Kramer or Foval reached out to any of your undercover agents, so to speak? Did they know who they are and if they tried to contact them?
Right before we went public with the first video, there were a couple of these media corporations who spiked the story, did reach out to them for fair comment 2 days before. And we got a call from Democracy Partners, as Bob Kramer, to our donor. His name was Ross. We used the name Charles Ross as the donor. We had to do that because we had to use a name of an existing donor, but there were multiple Charles Ross, so Kramer didn't know which Charles Ross we were. And he called us up and said, so any recordings that your niece may have done would be we don't want you to publish that. But we had such an elaborate series. We had 8 undercover reporters. We had donors. We had nieces. We had interns. We had people in England posing as foreign money people. We had so many. This is a very elaborate investigation that took us a year to do. It's sort of like that Planned Parenthood investigation that was released a year ago. We infiltrated their entire nexus. So these guys have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's coming. And frankly, they don't even know who's compromised. On those White House conference calls they were doing once a week, they shut that thing down because they don't know who on that phone call was recording them.
And can you tell us how many more videos are going to come out between now and Election Day?
We're going to have one of the things that people don't realize is just how much work these productions are. We didn't produce all of the productions before the first video, so we're like working 20-hour days to produce as a production, as frequently as we can. And the reason we did that is because we don't know what the response is to the videos, and that determines our strategy to release the next one. We have one coming out today, and then we'll determine after this one what happens next.
All right. He is James O'Keefe, founder of Project Veritas, the 4th installment of these investigative undercover videos out today. James, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joins us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made this